Hi everyone and welcome to another lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the two number systems used in Korean, native Korean numbers and Sino-Korean numbers. Now, if you're new to the channel, we create Korean language learning content for learners all over the world. So if you haven't yet, please make sure to click on that subscribe button. Also, if you're looking for online Korean courses, visit korean-studio.com and check out our total access membership for online courses and live Korean classes. Now, in Korean, we use two number systems. One of them originates from Korean language, so it's called native Korean numbers, and it's also sometimes called pure Korean numbers. The other number system originates from Chinese, so it's called Sino-Korean numbers. And when you learn Korean, it's really important that you learn both number systems, as each number system has specific uses. So in certain situations, it's really important that you use the correct number system. Let's begin with native Korean numbers. Let's begin with numbers 1 to 10. Listen and repeat after me. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Now, then we have words for numbers in 2 digits that end in 0, such as 20 and 30. And these are 스물, 서른, 마흔, 쉰, 예순, 일흔, 여든, 아흔. Now, if you look at these double-digit number words, some of them are somewhat similar to their single-digit number words. For example, 8 is 여덟, and 80 is 여든, and 7 is 일곱, and 70 is 일흔. However, some of them don't seem related at all. For example, 2 is 둘, but 20 is 스물, and 4 is 넷, but 40 is 마흔. So while some of them look kind of similar, there are also some pair of single-digit and double-digit number words which just look very different. So native Korean numbers can be a little tricky to master when compared to Sino-Korean numbers. Now, after that, to make any kind of double-digit number words, we simply combine the single-digit number words and double-digit number words that end in 0. So 14 is 열넷, 열넷. 25 is 스물다섯, 스물다섯. 48 is 마흔여덟, 마흔여덟. And 73 is 일흔셋, 일흔셋. So let's do a little test. Try to say the following numbers by yourself first and then listen to check if you said it correctly. How do you say 36? Yes, it's 서른여섯, 서른여섯. What about 59? Yes, it's 쉰아홉, 쉰아홉. Let's do one more. What about 61? 예순하나, 예순하나. That was great, well done. Now, with native Korean numbers, we only count to 99, so that is all that we need to learn for native Korean numbers. And mastering the number system and developing familiarity with a number system when you learn a language is all about practice. And we'll talk more about how this number system is used in Korean in the lecture next week. Let's move on to Sino-Korean numbers. Okay, so same as before, let's first count 1 to 10 in Sino-Korean numbers. And once again, if you like, do try to listen and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, developing strong awareness of these single-digit number words, plus 10, 10, is extremely important, as to say any number from 11 to 99 is all about combining these number words together. For example, 12 is 12, 12, and 17 is 17, 17. And to say 24, we first make 20 by combining 2, 2, and 10, 10 together. So 20 is 20. And then we add 4. So 24 is 24, 24. Following the same formula, 38 is 38, 38. 59 is 59, 59. 77 is 77, 77. And 94 is 94, 94. Okay, so same as before, let's do a little test. Try to say the following numbers by yourself and then listen to check whether you said it correctly. How do you say 81? Yes, it's 81, 81. What about 63? That's right, it's 63, 63. Lastly, 45. Yes, it's 45, 45. And that's all there is to it from numbers 1 to 99. Let's now take a look at the next 3 big number words. Now, as we learned before, native Korean numbers go only up to 99. So to talk about any number above 100, we use Sino-Korean numbers. And in Sino-Korean numbers, 100 is 100, 1000 is 1000, and 10,000 is 만. So that's 100, 1000만, 100, 1000만. And to form big numbers, it's just a case of putting these big number words and the numbers from 1 to 10 together. So 50,000 is 5만, 5만. And 54,000 is 54,000, 54,000. And 54,300 is 54,300, 54,300. And 54,320 is 54,320, 54,320. So that's how we form big numbers in Korean, which isn't all that different from how numbers are formed in English. One thing about Korean numbers is that in English, we can say 1,000. But in Korean, to say 1,000, we never say 1,000. We always just say 1,000, 1,000. And that's the same for 100, which would be just 100, 100. So do keep that in mind. Now then, what about numbers above 10,000? Well, this is where things get a little more complicated. Now, visually, if you look at numbers in digits, we put a comma at every 3-digit interval. And these intervals are where we have a number word in English. So the first big number word is 1,000, then we have million, then billion, and then trillion, and so on. So conceptually, it's fairly easy to match the words to how that number would look visually. However, Sino-Korean numbers don't follow the same rule. And as we have seen, we have a word for 10,000, 만. And then the next big number word after this is 100 million, which is 4 digits away, and that's ok, ok. And the next big number word is another 4 digits away, which is 1 trillion, and that's 조, 조. However, when Koreans write the numbers numerically, we still follow the same rule of placing a comma every 3 digits. Now, these different words we have in Korean for large numbers make saying large numbers a little tricky and takes a bit more practice than saying numbers in hundreds or thousands. So, for example, if we want to say 1,500,000, we still need to use the word man because the next big number word is 100 million. So we need to look at this number and think about how many 10,000 man there are. And if we put a box around the number of 10,000 man, we can see that there are 150 10,000 man. So we need to say 150 man. So first we say 150, which is 150, 150, and then we add man. So 1,500,000 in Korean is 150만, 150만. So let's take a look at one more example of how we say a large number. This time we have 21,850,000. So again, if we think about how many 10,000 man there are, we have 2,185 man. So we need to first form 2,185, which would be 2,185. And then we add man. So 21,850,000 is 2,185만. 2,185만. Now, if you're thinking, why have we made the number system so different and complicated? I don't have an answer for you, but definitely it makes it very difficult for Korean learners to learn about the Korean number system, but it also makes it very difficult for Korean people to learn how to say numbers in English. So this difference between the two number systems makes it difficult for everyone to learn different languages. However, it is what it is, and we just have to kind of get used to it. But definitely with any kind of number system, once you start using it and practice using it and you develop familiarity, this difficulty becomes less of an issue in the future. So yes, at first it seems rather complicated, but once you start practice using these large numbers, it will get easier. Now, you might also be thinking, how often do we really say big numbers in Korean? I mean, how common is saying 21 million in Korean? Well, one of the most common uses of Sino-Korean numbers is to talk about money. And unfortunately, Korean currency works in large numbers because 1,000 won is about $1. So lunch in Korea can cost about 10,000 won, 만 원. If you buy a nice jacket, it could cost 400,000 won, 40만 원. And if you have to buy a long flight ticket to Korea, it could cost 1 million won, depending on where you're flying in from. And that would be 100만 원, 100만 원. And even 1 million won is only $1,000. And an average property price is now close to about billion won in Seoul, which would be 10억, 10억. So talking in large numbers in Korea is actually a lot more common than you think. Now, as I mentioned already, developing familiarity and mastery of any number system is all about practice. So once you have understood how the number systems work, it's all about practicing using the number systems. So next week, we will learn how these two number systems are used in Korean. See you then. Bye-bye.